8 months under Rahul Gandhi's leadership, the Indian National Congress has seen a series of organizational changes, a first for the grand old party. Liz Matthew has been tracking the development closely and gets us an inside peek into the happenings of the party. Thank you so much, Liz, for joining us today. Liz, of course, we are looking at a lot of changes that Rahul Gandhi has brought about in his party, including the choice of candidates who will be chosen for the upcoming general elections, which are scheduled in 2014. How different is the process of selection of candidates going to be this time around?
See, in the Congress party, as all of us know, the system which they have been following was the General Secretary and the PCC President will decide. Now what Rahul Gandhi has done is, first of all, a few months before itself, he has sent observers, independent observers to each constituencies to take a first-hand information about the situation in the constituencies and the candidates, the possible candidates, the winnability of the candidates and the personalities who can actually contest on the party tickets. This is separate. This is apart from what the General Secretary and the PCC have been collecting. So at the central, in the last stage, they will tally this, and this is what the process meant for.
So this become a more accountable process right now.
And more transparent also.
You also mentioned that this model has been implemented in the state of Kerala. Would you elaborate on what you think is the possibility of this model succeeding, say in other states? Because I believe they are looking to replicate it in the rest of the country as well. Do you think this model will be acceptable to the existing guard in the Congress party, and how will it be viewed?
See, Rahul Gandhi, since he took over as the Vice President in January this year, has introduced this, kind of accountability and transparency in the organizational system. And the performance and the promotions in the party is now based on the performance and how effective they are at the grassroots level, how far their political activities are going on and all. In Congress party, we know that in every state unit, the group, the factionalism is there. So you picking up a candidate, it has to be actually appreciated or accepted by all factions. So one has to wait and see how far it will be effective when it comes to whether this will be able to, surpass this kind of test, the factionalism test, the favoritism test. And, in northern part of the country, where the caste and, religion play a more crucial or a more prominent role when it comes to the election, how far this kind of properly written down or a kind of corporate system will work, one has to wait and see.
Let's also understand, now Rahul Gandhi is also seen as the party's prime ministerial candidate. Obviously, there's no official announcement to that effect just yet. But then he is being looked at someone who might lead the party right from the front. However, his parliamentary performance so far or his public image hasn't really convinced many of his ability to do the same. Do you think having good organizational skills alone or making the party more accountable in terms of its structure is enough to validate his candidacy as a prime minister for leading Congress party in the upcoming elections?
Certainly not. In an organization where, in Gandhi family has a prominent role and nobody as of now nobody will question them, so Gandhi can actually it can be even unilateral, he can go ahead and introduce whatever he thinks is right. But when it comes to dealing with other parties, this will go to a multi level interaction. How Gandhi will be performing, or Gandhi will be able to manage it. Like, Sonia Gandhi, that, initially, even before the UPA formation, she was the brain behind it, and she was the one who took initiative for this. Her attempt to get into the, get the left party. That is how the UPA was formed. But in Rahul Gandhi's case, nothing of that sort has happened yet. Though he has been trying to meet some certain leaders, like he has been meeting Sitaram Yechury of CPM. He has been meeting Lalu Prasad. He has been meeting Sharad Pawar. But his interactions with these leaders, sometimes one-to-one, maybe in the Central Hall of Parliament, or sometimes just a pre-decided meeting. But it hasn't gone beyond, one-to-one. So I don't know whether he will be and again, when you compare Mrs. Gandhi with Mr. Gandhi, he is a very even in Parliament, Mrs. Gandhi you can see that she will be controlling the members.
There's more engagement in the Parliament.
Yeah, she is meeting people like anything. Every day she meets people. Anybody approaching her will get an appointment. Mr. Gandhi was so far not been so accessible. Now he has increased his accessibility.
So it has begun to change, but you'll say it's not enough.
It is not enough. Yeah.
All right. So Rahul Gandhi's efforts clearly at streamlining the party structure is a step in the right direction. But as Liz today spoke to us and told us, it may not be enough to take him all the way to look like a worthy candidate of leading the party from the front like his mother has for so many years in the past.